credit to Iowa. Kirk, obviously you guys all know the story. I've had a tremendous amount of respect for him. Obviously working under him and seeing the inside of the program has really helped me become who I am today. So I give a lot of credit to them and just did a tremendous job. What an unbelievable football game. You're always disappointed when somebody has to lose that game because it was just 4 quarters of fanatical effort. Great individual efforts by some of our guys, but yet unit efforts, whether it be offense, defense, or special teams. Guys really had a tremendous amount of faith and executed some individual things. You know, I know Brian hit me up early this morning. He wanted to confirm the starting lineups, and I basically said I wish I knew. There was as much as 7 of our starters that weren't sure who was going to play or be able to go or not. I believe we started the game with Peter Kahns, and then he only played the first half, and then he just felt he couldn't go in the second half. Billy Nagy pops in, takes off the tight end jersey number, and steps in there in an unbelievable, selfless act to give us that win. You know, everybody's writing about John Clay and James White. Monty Ball scored a huge touchdown in this game a year ago, and just shows a tremendous amount of faith that he has to practice the way he did. And the coaches to put him in on that little shovel pass was huge. So another guy stepping forward there. Lance Kendricks, our tight end, who everybody wants to talk about, and then he gets injured early in the game, and those other guys pop in there. These guys have earned a bye week. They're going to have a head coach that's very rewarding. They will get a lot of time off to themselves to get themselves healed for us to move into the month of November and you know, get ready for the next 4 opponents. But really proud of my players and coaches today. Sorry for that long statement, but that's about it.
Brett, how big was the lack of the extra point?
Well, Brooksy, it ends up being a game, you know, and again, a good example of how our guys play every snap. JJ burst through there. Just another thing where we really stress, I've always told our defensive players, to me, the truest test of what a defense is all about is how they play PAT. Because anytime you're on the field and it's a PAT situation, it means you were just scored upon, and how are you going to react? And again, the reaction there was unbelievable. Ends up being the difference in the game.
Brett, can you summarize these last 2 games?
Can I summarize these last 2 games?
What the team accomplished last 2 games?
Well, 2 separate, you know, 2 different things, Jeff. You know, one is, you know, to be quite honest, I think I probably learned that during my 5 years as much as anything, how much more difficult it is to win on the road versus at home. Last week, everybody's behind you, the mojo. We rode that thing, but all week, we just kept on talking about embracing the challenge of this week, embracing the crowd, embracing the pink locker room, embracing the atmosphere, how the fans are going to be on top of you. You're going to be in it. Don't try to fight it. You know, accept it and move forward. And you know, I probably learned that from Coach Alvarez as much as anybody. You know, just the importance to win big games on the road if you want to be something in this conference. And the kids went out and did it today.
The fake punt. What was that?
That was a deep breath. Something we had seen on film. With that scheme that we run from a punt standpoint, certain teams are going to defend it differently, and we'd seen that, you know, they basically had gone to those 2 edge pressures and were covering down, and we just made the call. Once I saw them put the punt return unit on there, it was a check at the line of scrimmage. We gave them the call, and Ryan Groy, you know, a second-string left guard, he's making that decision. Good Middleton kid with a good GPA, we trusted him. And he went out there and made the call, and then Brad Nortman did the mechanics and took off running. He came to the sideline. I said he could have got me at least 5 more yards. But great execution, great faith.
Brett, the fake punt, the going for it on 4th and 1, those kind of bold moves you have to make in a game to win on the road in the Big Ten like this.
Yeah, I knew that whether we won this football game or not, there were going to be a couple critical decisions that were going to have to be made during them. I tell you what, everybody's going to write about those. But if we didn't buzz that timeout when it was ruled that they had the first down, because I want to challenge that play, that could have been as big a thing as anything.
Can you talk about your defense the last 2 stands? One after the pick, first of all, the whole new field goal, and then this last one.
The one after the pick, you got a whole stadium going against you, and our guys, Charlie got him in the huddle and really talked about, you know, this is the time we need to, you know, hold them to a field goal, if nothing, to keep it a 7-point game, and they went out there and did that. It was a great response, and then at the end of the game there, just once they obviously got the first down and they called a timeout and there's 12 seconds, I said if they keep the ball in bounds, you know, that's why we went cover 2. We were heavy on the edges, tried to keep everything in front of us. And then Mike Taylor, who's playing on half a leg, you know, a kid that got hurt last week, didn't really practice at all this week. Just a tremendous effort by him, and you know, for him to make that play that won the game.
Brett, would you call this a game a classic?
Sure, it'll be on classics. Yeah, it's a class. It's two powerhouse football teams, a little old school mentality from the offense side, but two defenses that aren't accustomed to giving up 31 and 30 points. So that's a little bit out of our norm, but bottom line, it was a team that executed for 4 quarters to win.
Brad, this year, the year of the election, who would you vote a game ball to in your ball club?
I don't think we could do that. And you know what? I bet you if you asked all my guys, they would say the same exact thing. This is a very selfless team. Guys really understand for us to win. I talked this morning in our meeting that, by NCAA rules, we could only bring down 70 people. That's what the NCAA says we can. We're going to need every one of them to win this game today. And unfortunately, that was basically true. A lot of people played in this game, so it's a lot of guys that care about Wisconsin, not about themselves.
You talk about Tolzien's effort just to hold things together with so many different faces in offense.
Tom, I think Scott has really, from a year ago to where he is today, the last 2 ball games showed me how well he responded to adversity. Last week throwing a pick against Ohio State, this week that late throw that they picked off, and to be able to come back, we went empty. Who would have thought we were going to be going empty as much as we did? And Paul has tremendous faith in him, kept making the right throws, right decisions. And really, as that drive progressed, I knew we were going to be able to score. I just didn't. We scored a little too quick. Kind of wish that review would have came back on the 1-inch line and been able to punch it in. But again, a great effort by Scotty.
Talk about the J.J. Watt sack, and just after that, really getting much pressure on the quarterback.
Yeah, J.J. As that game goes on, gets stronger and stronger. He set it up. With great power. J.J. is extremely talented young man, but the thing that separates J.J. from a lot of people is what goes on right here and right here. He has an unbelievable will to win. He's a tremendous kid of faith, and he's got a motor that never stops.
Does this top last week in your book?
Well, 2 pretty good weeks. Tell you what, it makes this next week even that much more special. To give these guys and let these guys heal. We have a lot of things we need to get done in the recruiting department. We have a thing called development, which is our younger kids that aren't playing, so they got to lift tomorrow. Everybody got a kick out of that because for us to win games 2-3 years down the road, those kids need to train tomorrow, and that's just how we think.
Can you clarify what's up with Lance and James White?
Yeah, I really don't know, Jeff, specifically. I think Lance's isn't that serious. It was an ankle injury, and then James was something wrong with the knee, but they didn't think anything serious at this point. He was moving around pretty good. He was even giggling, so I don't think it's too bad, but the guy I was initially scared about was Bo Allen, but that X-ray came back negative as well. He popped back in there and moved forward.
Was Nick close?
How much of an Iowa fan will you be next week when they play Michigan State?
I'm always an Iowa fan. I went to school here. I graduated from here. Much has been said about my tattoo, so I like Kirk and his staff. I want them to have success. Now, the politics of Big Ten campaign, you're going to be cheering or hoping, but I don't really get wrapped up in that. I really do think in our conference, our coaches generally pull for each other and let the cards fall as they come.
Was Nick Toon close to playing, or was that his decision at the end to call?
The situation with Nick, he really got a bad bang to the leg there late in the game last week, and he tried, and nobody wanted to play in this game more than Nick Toon. He is a kid that's really grown up, and he practiced a little bit Thursday and a little bit more yesterday, but we really felt for this game, if he wasn't 100% on, they play a lot of zones, so Abby could sit down in there, and David and Kyle, it wasn't, or David and Isaac, it wasn't something that he needed to be out there, and obviously the plan worked.
What were you thinking on 4th and 1 at the 2? What were you thinking there? You could have tied it up with a field goal, I guess.
Yeah, I just felt the momentum on our guys. If you notice where the ball was run, I cannot say enough about Gabe Creamy and John Moffitt on my left side as a head coach to be able to go to them. And Gabe grabbed me before the game, and he played very well last week, and he knew that he was in a battle this week versus their defensive line, and he made a pretty strong statement to me. And I've really enjoyed watching Gabe grow into the competitor and the person that takes charge that he is today, and that's why we went there. It wasn't by chance we left.
What was the statement that he made to you?
You can get that out of him. He was very confident that he was going to play well today. Basically, he was telling me to come to the left side whenever I felt needed.
Was this win maybe more special just because you won't play Iowa for another couple of years?
It is. We use that to our kids. It's special because it's Iowa. It's a team that we have a great amount of respect for. They've played at a level to win championships over the last couple of years and in recent years. And, a lot of respect for them, so that's what makes it special.
Have you seen improvement from your special teams across the board, and do you think that has made you a more complete team?
Without a doubt, Jeff. huge play in the game was when they were offsides and we went back and Rudy changed up the call and we went with a middle blast. David's getting some momentum. Obviously, the fake punt was huge. And
Kickoff coverage.
the kickoff coverage was good all week. Really, the last couple of weeks has been outstanding. Again, different guys doing that. And again, Lance Kendricks gets hurt on a kickoff return play, but he's the one who wants to be out there, you know, and that's just kind of the way this team is made up for us to win.
Paul, one of your top receivers today scored your winning touchdown. Is that a testament to his attitude?
Who's that?
Moneyball.
Moneyball. Another great story. Yeah, he is really, he's a serious kid. He knows that his day was going to come. He didn't know how it was going to come. We can't script it. We don't know when it's going to happen. But that little shovel pass there to hit that and execute and read and run, again, really good job by the coaches to put him in that situation. A great job by him to execute it.
Coach, can you just talk about that final drive? So many big plays, so many guys stepped up.
Yeah, basically after we started moving the ball, I said to Paul, 4 downs. You know, no matter where we were at, we were going to go 4 downs. I thought this was going to be the drive. I didn't think there was going to be a punt and pin them and, you know, try to get back out there. We felt this was the drive we needed to, and he called the plays accordingly. And there was a little bit of everything. You know, we were throwing around, and we popped John in there, and you could see him getting that energy going. And then we popped Monty in there, and I guess he ends up scoring the winning touchdown, correct? So just it's fun to be around this group.